When the Abbotsford School Board here decided that Social Justice 12, such as it was, wasn't acceptable, and they went ahead and replaced it with another course minus any reference to queer identities, I felt that really personally hurtful.
I was 13 in 8th grade when I first heard the word gay.
I think the real nature of their objection was the content specifically that referred to sexual orientation.
There was one boy at school who was labeled queer. I don't know whether he was or not, but he consequently got beat up every day.
There's a component on sexual orientation, but I mean, it's just so many things in the course. It's so exciting that that's one component of the course.
I watched and stood silent, wishing I had the courage to say something.
Sometimes if you think you're alone in your ideas, if you start to act, you realize that you have a lot of support that you never first thought that was ever going to be there.
You can only learn so much by yourself, but to have other people around you that want to do the same thing, who are interested in that, would be really helpful.
We've walked on eggshells so much, all these years, it's time to get a broom and clean the floor.
My mom taught me that each of us should help make the world a better place, each in our own way. How can you here today make your schools and community a better place for all young people?
I'm Gail Chata-Costello, and I've been asked by Irene Lansiger, President of the BC Teachers Federation, to welcome me here this morning.
This is our very first Regional Social Justice Conference. So we have 4 this year as a part of a new grant program that was funded through the BC Teachers Federation.
What I'd like to talk to you about this morning is a lot of the reason for our conference today, and that is talk to you about change.
Discrimination is everywhere, all the time. You can meet it. We have, and today will be the day where we will find the solution here.
People still feel very isolated and nervous in their classrooms.
I think there's a real connection between poverty, social justice, and how we live our lives in terms of environmental impact.
The world is changing. It's up to each of us to decide what part we want to play in that change.
Equity is something we want to get at, ideally, that idea of fairness and justice, but equality is a tricky road. Equality gets us into the fight where people say, when is there going to be a straight holiday? Where's the straight pride parade?
Students need to know how to conceptualize the discrimination that they are experiencing. And those people who are in a privileged position need to understand that sometimes their privilege causes other people to feel marginalized.
Before I give you more of a framework of the do's and don'ts about the name calling, I want you to write down 10 things you can say or do when you hear "that's so gay."
At 13 years old, I believed that being gay was the worst thing in the world a boy could be.
Just to keep things moving along, I'd like for you to share out with us as a group some of your ideas around the reasons why we need to do anti-homophobia education in schools, no matter what grade level.
Social justice is something that we should weave throughout our curriculums, right from kindergarten up to grade 12.
It is something that you can do with kids of any age.
It's amazing to see how big an impact young people can have in the world.
It is the right time, the young people, to start to understanding what genocide is about.
So one interpretation of a socially just society is one in which all groups, regardless of background, are included in the political, economic, and social decisions of society. That's the interpretation that I'm going for.
So sexual identity. How do I identify myself as gay, straight, bi, or you mentioned queer, label-free? Some teens want or need to identify with a group they can belong to.
Students need to know more about other sexualities, etc. And they didn't know how to confront it and know more about it so they can confront it in a good way.
If I present the facts, I present the information, I present my concerns, that quite often, that's fair, that's totally fair. They will come to their own conclusion on it. I'm not going to preach to them. They will come to that conclusion on their own.
When I speak at a school assembly, I ask students for a show of hands. How many of you here today know somebody, gay or lesbian? In schools, among students, it's very similar. Typically anywhere from 80 to 99% of hands go up. Your young people, they know gay and lesbian individuals.
It's very important to us for our youth life to be interested in what more that we're thinking throughout our lives.
Education is a tool, is a key to be able, you can really achieve the dream of what Canada is about.
The students created an environment to bring the subject out in the open and kept it from being swept under the carpet.
We have to continue fighting and we have to continue talking about it.
A conference like this is about talking about how to get there, how to build that world through the work that we do in classrooms.
It's encouraging to see the number of places that are offering it and hope that it spreads.
You know what? This is the greatest opportunity I am going to ever have in terms of curriculum in British Columbia, and I want to do this, and I don't care how busy I am going to do this.
I'm not an extraordinary person. It simply happens that I've been given a talent and opportunity to do something extraordinary. Each of you, every single one of you, has that same opportunity to do something extraordinary in your school, in your community. That's what this conference is about.
One thing that we've come to realize in the social justice work we've done over 2 decades in this country is that changing laws is one thing, and in brackets, and perhaps the easiest thing, but changing hearts and minds is much more of a challenge. When teachers such as yourselves take up the challenge of educating the adults of tomorrow about what it means to strive for a socially just world, you ensure a brighter, more equitable future for us all. Congratulations on attending this important event. We want you to know we wish you every success in your commitment to making all public education spaces truly meaningful and life-changing to your students, our future leaders in social justice. And thank you from Murray and Peter.
Nobody has more privilege than anybody, because when we share this pie, we should share this pie with everybody who born to this country.